Boom. Hi. Hello. I'm back. I'm back, bruh. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reflect. I'm gonna journal this time. Of course, it was a stupid shit to do what I did today, but coming from the state of mind that I was in, right? I'm not gonna blame it. Somehow, like I'm gonna explain this. Like um, this week and today and the previous week, I did take classes, but I was kind of learning the boundaries of what it takes to maintain a consistent execution. So today, kind of troll trade is fine. The result doesn't even matter. What matters to me is what I'm learning, because I did learn something really valuable. So I'm gonna start out with journaling, right? The trade isn't bad, but one thing that I did wrong and I don't want to do it again is, um, let me one second, one second, one second, one second. It's one thing that is really important to me and I don't want to do it again, is don't give advice on doing something and you don't do it later on. Like, I gotta preach what I teach, if that makes sense. And that's gonna be, I gotta stand on my business, I gotta stand on my words. If I say something, do it, right? If I say you should always choose euro instead of GU because euro is stronger here, and always choose the pair more suitable for your idea, then do it. Then do it, non-negotiable. If you give an advice, you have to do it. I want to see one thing here. AU actually even weaker than, yeah. So I want to kind of make a rule. There's a lot of things that I'm gonna want to make here. First, I want to make a rule, which is always choose the pair more suitable for your idea. In this case, it would have been euro and never GU, just straight up disappears from your mind, right? So we're gonna go over this. First, I'm gonna journal, then I'm gonna go into some things that I studied, because I'm kind of developing a system. I'm kind of developing a system right now with a lot of things. So first, I'm developing an identity or some rules that kind of govern consistent execution. So I'm kind of trying to find some like non-negotiable rules that govern, that support consistent execution, that it should be obeyed like fully. And yeah, we're gonna see. Bro, I'm not gonna answer you. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna see. So obviously here we're still downtrending. This was my bias. This is one thing I knew. Yeah, this trade was bad for multiple reasons. Sometimes you just gotta stick to one idea and not do it. Hi bro, how are you today? So yeah, there's a lot of things to learn and to adapt here, and just keep doing it. Like, this buy, I wouldn't really say was quality. First of all, we didn't reach that new week opening gap, and my intuition was right here on the fact that this gap shouldn't be considered valid if we don't come here. That was first thing. Second was choosing the stronger pair, which in this case was euro, because we wanted to buy, right? And third, it kind of was this 50-minute rejection that we got here. We didn't fully close. So always another rule that I kind of want to add for myself is what trade did you take? Did you take a buy here? I mean, it would have been kind of nice actually. Ooh, a buy from here on the retest, but it was not valid for me. So let's get back to it. So you gotta wait for a candle closure above on whatever the time frame of your POI is. So in this case, since we had a 50-minute POI here that we wanted to see invalidated, we needed to wait for the 50-minute candle close above to validate buys. Like, this was too big of a warning sign, and I think it always is. No matter what kind of the situation is, never like this is too big of a warning sign for you to take your trade. So this might be another rule that I'm gonna kind of add to my arsenal. Always wait for the candle closures above the POI. Okay, nice. We're gonna see, but it should probably easily go towards this high. We're gonna see. Right now I'm gonna journal. I think I'm gonna actually keep this streams. I mean, every day I want to journal, like fully transparent. Whatever I'm going through. Like, this is not a period where I should be. I don't know, not be transparent. Like, I'm gonna post and I'm gonna show exactly what I'm going through and what I'm learning. So that's one thing to know. So let's just know this. Like, for me, it were clearly, my initial thought was this 4 hours shouldn't be. Let me see. Okay, let me see, because I want to get my drawing tablet. I want to start drawing again on my pictures because it helps. So 4 hours is too big. First of all, this gap was too big to consider valid. The only area we would consider valid off it would be this, unless we get another 4-hour confluence of support. So this only becomes valid. In this case, yeah, basically our only POI, or the only area where we expect buys to come from, is from new week opening gap, because the gap is too big. Always a gap too big loses relevance, therefore we need to add relevance to another, through another confluence. So in this case I was still expecting to be drawing lower towards. You make some trade today? Yeah, bro, I took a loss. Like, I took a stupid loss today, but it is what it is. I took like a stupid buy around here. That's what I'm journaling right now. It was a stupid buy, but I was too sleepy to be trading, and I took this stupid loss, but it is what it is. Like, that's what I'm journaling now. Sometimes it happens, right? I still need to learn some things before being able to lock in consistent execution, and therefore kind of turn profitable as a result, to be honest. Gap too big, so it loses relevance. We have to add relevance through another POI overlap. New week opening gap. So just one trade. Yeah, I don't really take. I shouldn't have taken it, but yeah, one trade for today. I cut it short. I didn't take it fully. Like, this is something I do a lot of times. I cut it short. I cut it, I think, around here. I cut it like 0.5. Yeah, at least that's what I was able to do. That, like, looking at the positive side, at least I cut the loser in half and I closed at around like 0.5. But yeah, in terms of structure on the 4 hour, there was nothing really present today. In terms of 4 hour structure, there was nothing really present. In terms of 4 hour, and for the night, what price? I'm not gonna look. Like, it was for New York. Like, for London, I didn't trade today. For London, which was here, and this was the last in New York, so it's probably gonna be over. I'm not gonna trade Asia. I'm gonna wait for it tomorrow, but very likely not gonna trade tomorrow either, because of CPI. Basically, most likely not gonna trade because of CPI. So probably I'm more looking to trade the end of the week, to be honest. Like, the end of the week is gonna be the good part of this week, the higher probability part. So that's more of what I'm generally looking at to trade. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. This is an interesting case to be analyzing, because price did tap equilibrium of the FVG here, which was the reason why I would think it's valid. Initially, I didn't really think it's valid. It's a 4 hour coupled with 1 hour, but the 1 hour didn't have relevance whatsoever. So yeah, and in terms of structure, it was the point. Yeah, this was a very iffy trade, I would say. So this was the new week opening gap, and this was the 4 hour equilibrium, EQ. So yeah, validity, on equilibrium of the FVG? Probably not. Would it have the inverse here, which was the reason I was taking the trade. But the thing is, look here, bro. Like, I'm so stupid sometimes. What am I doing? Why did I take this trade into like a... Let me do this if possible. Let me see if I can do this. Let's do red, maybe. Okay. This gap wasn't closed above, bro. What am I doing, bro? This gap wasn't closed above, so it invalidates the trade, bro. What am I doing? Like, I was too sleepy to realize. I'm not gonna blame myself for not figuring these things out, but I'm gonna blame myself for not sleeping enough, to be honest. Boom, boom. Let's see, bro. Why is it red? I just changed the... Oh wait, never mind, because it's from here. Okay, so it's a clear kind of... Until we invalidate this one. Let me see. Let me do like this. So until we invalidate above, until we close above, this idea stays what, perish or the flow. I mean, this wouldn't really be a... Can I change this? Oops, fuck. Okay. That's okay. I'm gonna do it once again. Nah, bruh, nah, bruh, nah, bruh. Like this. Yeah, I was too sleepy to be able to figure this stuff out, to be honest. To be focused and realize. So yeah, we should have waited for this. It's a clear ping pong. Until this gets invalidated, we cannot be traded. Even if we have one inverse, we needed to wait for the follow-up. If this would have been present, maybe the buy would have been valid, and if we would have tapped that. So the only way to be actually trading this scenario would have been if this wasn't present, or if we close above it, or and if we would have tapped the new week opening gap, pretty much. I mean, even if we would have tapped new week opening gap, if this is respected, we're very likely just gonna continue. And let me see one thing I'm curious about. I did say at one moment I was actually waiting for souls. I don't know what I did, bro. Like, this is such a stupid troll shit. But itty what itty. So I'm trying to kind of make an idea of what would have been the better choice. So it's kind of stuck between POIs, so it's either one supports the other. So buys are kind of valid from here. Buys and sells were valid from here. That's realistically how they should have traded it, how they should have been traded, and this area being in between should have been a no trade area, realistically, because that's just how confluences cancel each other out. We have one confluence on the bullish side and one confluence on the bearish side, so what they do, they cancel each other out. So we should have waited for each one to get broken. If this gets broken, we would have had two confluences on looking higher, and if this gets broken, we would have had two confluences to look lower. So this, yeah, this would have been a no trade zone here, realistically. Becomes a no trade zone. This, and also this was a red flag. I mean, this was kind of my drawn liquidity, to be honest. It's a weird so let me rewrite again. So this was 4 hour new week opening gap. This was my drawn liquidity, so why am I buying? This is where we're drawn towards. I don't know how to make a magnet. This was my drawn liquidity. We didn't reach it, so yeah, it was still more likely to be bearish because of this new week opening gap. If we would have reached it, it would have made a bit more sense to be bullish, but it's kind of, oh, and we also have this, which this is another confluence for taking shorts. I didn't even realize, but what am I doing? It's like sometimes, I mean, I lack sleep, it's fine because of that. I lack sleep, but here it's just really clear that we're bearish. We had like 3 FVGs getting respected, and I think I noted this in my in my journal, in my analysis part. So where's Notion? Like right here. Oops. Very clear here what's the more likely scenario to start playing. We had way more confluences on the bearish side, but still we couldn't have shorted until 4 hour. I don't know how to go about this, until 1 hour inverse gets closed above, and for buys they were just really unlikely to play. We had new week opening gap as a draw liquidity, and we didn't reach it. So I don't know how to put this, but it's clearly that it's more likely for souls to would have played out here. Like this was just troll. And also look here how we closed in the 4 hour. This is also a very important structural point because we respected the high of the 4 hour AVG. That's when we take it as support. So this had a lot of signs that we're gonna be bearish compared to bullish. So yeah, that's clear, and that was very clear. Now it's very clear, but I didn't focus enough to see it in the session. Why was it more likely to play souls? I mean, it's very clear, bruh, for me. I'm kind of talking to myself at this point. So way more likely to play souls. It's clear this was a naked confluence even with the 4 hour. Even if this gets broken in just in terms of structural point, it would have been too early to take souls. For buys would have been valid. Yeah, again, the same thing makes sense. We would have wanted to see this inverse. Preferably we wanted to see a 1 hour gap form here, I would say. So yeah, it's an interesting scenario. So I'm gonna also look at structure here. Let's see. So structure is clearly bearish. Like there's no ifs and buts. Like structure is clearly bearish. But as I said, these are cases where it's in between. When we have the first leg that either breaks structure or raises liquidity, we don't know what this is at this point when it happens. What is gonna confirm it is either when we close below, it's confirming that this is a raid on liquidity, and if we break higher, it's gonna confirm that this is yeah. So that makes a lot of sense in terms of structural. Yeah, this was just more likely to play a low high just because of behavior and how we formed. So intraday profile, we were in the classic intraday profile, we were positioned in that in-between state where we do not know what the next intention is. It's kind of 50-50. We do not know if that move higher or London is a break of or change of character, or whatever you want to call it, change of character or raid on liquidity. That's why it's really important to stay out of conditions like this when the market is in this in between, which was exactly what was confirmed here. The price was in this in between state where we would have needed to see either side get broken before considering what side to take. So that in between state, basically. Bro, get me out of this, bro. Okay, so let's see that in between state, that should mean no trades, no matter what happens. So in this case, let's get back to this. So higher time frame, again, in terms of structure, we break higher, or even on the 50-minute, it follows the same idea. So we can actually use this. Even on the 50-minute, it follows the same idea. So for us to take buys, we need, yeah, bro, like now it makes so much sense, but I don't know, sometimes I'm just stupid. So we either this becomes kind of pivotal point, and which is also the 1 hour. It doesn't really make sense, like it's the same outline on the lower time frame and on the higher time frame. So I'm gonna do it like this. We break above, we look for buys, which was not necessarily a bad idea. We were anticipating the higher low. It just was way more likely to be playing sells here. So that's why that confluence ended up being detrimental of waiting for that 50-minute to close above. Yeah, buys, sells. Why? Because from here we get confirmed that we're forming the next range, and here we confirm that we're going to continue lower towards acting as strong liquidity. So yo, even 50-minute would have helped us to see, to follow up on hourly structure, which was mandatory, by the way. We break lower, we claim the inverse, close below it, confirmation that move London was a raid, and we look on taking lower prices. We break higher, break the 1 hour bearish FEG, also kind of 50-minute as well. Confirmation that we forming a higher low and are gonna get to second range. So yeah, this is where you should never be. Yeah, it's that in between state always. So how do I make this Q? Yeah, just like this, basically just a question mark. We don't know what that move is at that point. So boom, boom, boom. We don't know when an initial move, especially since we were bearish, right, what the price is gonna do. Like this is a price action I see a lot of times. It's just like this right here is not a place where we want to be traded. Wait, can I do this? And here it's a no trade area, kinda, if that makes sense. It's just getting better a bit out recognizing scenarios like this. And then we can go about the fact that why we were more likely to play souls here and why you would have been. Yeah, it's basically just going against bias. This is one advice that I also gave today that I stick to. This is what I hate. I don't want to do this. Like, bro, if I give an advice, I need to stick to it myself. If I say you should choose one bias and just stick to it no matter what happens, then I do stick to it. We didn't have confluence necessary to be looking at this. So it's very, very clear what I did wrong. So So, okay, I'm sorry for being away, bro. What concepts do I trade? I trade ICT basically. I'll be trading. Sorry for not being here. I was away. I trade ICT, and that's kind of it. My trading is really simple in this core. I use sessions. I have a lot of intraday profiles. Um, and I just use like inverses and FVGs. To be honest, that's really like at the core. I use sessions. And inverses and FVGs. It's really simple at its core. What do you trade? So let's get back to journaling this bullshit trade. But yeah, it's fine. So this probably what I'm gonna move to. Um, that in between state, I would call this probably. So let me see. Profitable or still learning? I'm break even, bro. I've been break even for like 10 months. Now I can show you my account if that's your desire. Just Charlie, shut the fuck up. Goldbach and ICT, I have no idea what Goldbach is, to be honest. But yeah, gold is nice. But I'm break even. I've been break even for a long time, not here, bro. What am I doing, bro? What am I doing? 10 months around now since I've been break even. Yeah, didn't really do well lately, but I'm still confident in myself. Probably what is the state that I'm at currently? Probably -4. I would say -4 point something too. That's fine. That's really fine. I've been here multiple times. You have a Twitter? I don't really use Twitter, bro. I have like IG. I have TikTok if you want to follow. I should add it to my description from now on, but yeah. I don't really, I mean, I have a Twitter, but I just don't use it. So yeah, we're probably gonna move this to the in-between state, I would call it. It's really smart to be aware of this. Coupled in between state, coupled with the fact that we had this very big voided gap, and coupled with the fact that we didn't reach in the new week opening gap, it would definitely make sales more playable here. And the fact that we respected this 50 minutes, so it's all we had really clear signs that we're gonna be bearish here, not bullish. But yeah, you live and learn. Not gonna stop, and even after I turn profitable, improving is not gonna stop, definitely not. So let's get back to what I was doing. So this was 4 hour. Yeah, this was 4 hour, and now we're gonna look at what I saw on we had that 4 hour, we had a 4 hour big here, which was the first confluence, and then what we looked at was this inverse that we had, which was a good confluence, but it's just a case where it was too likely to be playing souls, and it was a case where we were in the in-between state, so we needed to wait for this to also get broken above before considering buys. Drop you a follow on Twitter, even though you don't use, just hop top of the charts. Will definitely drops out. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. It makes me really happy. Thank you a lot, bro. If you want to talk, we should be talking on IG. If you want to talk, I'm always down to make new friends. And again, thank you for being here, bro. It really means more to me than you might think. It means way more than you might think. So let's do this because it looks better with the snipping tool like this. Okay, snipping, bro. What's wrong with you, Genki? So boom, delete this bullshit. Technically the idea is not bad in terms of rules. How I generally trade, we just looked for the second influence, which was the inversion. Overall a trigger plus area, I would say. Okay, in this case follow-up was necessary, something that should have been necessary, meaning this 4 hour is our area, this is our trigger of taking buys. But in the case like this, since we were so in between, and coupled with the fact that we didn't tap on my POI, should have waited for a follow-up, meaning I should have waited for a break above. But that's what I'm going to study later on. Now we gotta look at generally how I traded this. I think this is what I should journal first. What did I see? right? I mean, I looked at it, it looked like a clean London continuation, but this is a case where both can happen. Like, this is a case where legitimately both can happen, and you need to look at kind of the cues that price is giving you to be trading it. Since it's a case in where both can happen, you need to wait either for this or either for this. Again, this becoming an in-between state, a state where you don't really trade in, which I didn't do today, but it's fine. As long as I'm gonna learn, it's something that I'm gonna adopt and not do. Yeah, let's do this. Where's my intraday profile? I think I deleted my intraday profile. So intraday profile was a London continuation. It's a really nice model. London continuation. It just was completely against trend, and we had to wait for trend to fully get switched, meaning we formed the second range before trading. So kind of made the London continuation invalid, and we should have looked at it like a delayed trending Asia instead, which meaning, yeah, setup's contradicting the source, but it's fine. London continuation overall really clean. We had sell side raid into 1 hour FVG plus 50-minute, and from there I was just looking at buys. A nice model, but again just unlikely to play because of context. Here entry wasn't bad either. I wouldn't really say it's bad. What strategy you using, bro? I mean, I'm using a lot of strategies. I'm using intraday models. This is how I call them. I use something like this. I look to trade based on sessions. So I either look to trade Asian sweep, I look to trade New York reversals and then continuation. It's a bit more complicated, but I'm trading very, very reliant on intuition. Today I traded this setup here. I basically trade like 1 hour inverses. That's pretty much it. Like even here, if you look at price, like the trade I took, it was a loss, but I took a 1 hour inverse here and I took buys off it. So usually I trade inverses and FVGs, but yeah, even though the trade ended up being a loss, this is how I trade. What do you trade, bro? Let's get back to us right here. Where was we? Yeah, but entry was just stupid because we didn't wait in this case for this. Yeah, and that ended up being a really crucial confluence that I should have waited for. This inverse here, the same thing I use. I should have waited for this to get close above it. The fact that we didn't, pretty big red flag. A very important confluence, even though it might seem small. This generally, I feel like this made a huge difference in showing us where the market will go. If we would have broken above it, we were more likely to continue higher. If we rejected like this, what are we signaling? Respect, and that we were more likely to come back and continue lower in numbers. I'm still refining mine. I use 4 of 3 sweep and entry on unicorn. Nice. I really like unicorn. Unicorn is probably one of my favorite entry models, to be honest. I really like breakers, but I haven't really seen, bro. It's been so long since I've seen a unicorn model, but it's interesting. I used to trade kind of the same way. In that Asia raid that I talked to, which is waiting for either side of Asian high to get swept, and then you look for buys. So meaning that if Asian lows get swept, you look for buys. If Asian highs get swept, you look for sells. It's basically still kind of like power of 3 at the core. But yeah, this wasn't the trade today, but interesting. Nice. It's a good model. That's where I can give my opinion on. It's a good model. So what was I gonna journal? The entry, yeah, the entry. Okay, so entry wasn't bad. This is a confluence I see a lot of times, but the entry, like the idea behind the entry wasn't bad, but this ended up making such a big difference, and ended up making such a big difference if the entry is valid or not. The fact that we rejected above the high, so this I should have had a confluence that we need to see price close above the high before taking entries. We see break above the high, we see a retest, and then I would have looked for buys. This is what I should have done in this case, and it was clear, but sadly I lack focus. I couldn't focus today. So entry definitely wasn't bad. It was like a fractal low formation, which is something I trade, which usually means a really well protected stop loss. With this break is a decent break. It's not a bad break, but yeah, it's just like considering context and this 50-minute VG, And the fact that we didn't close above it made it a bad entry. As simple as that. One confluence really made it a bad entry. And since it was a danger zone, yeah, my protocol would have told me to wait for it to get broken, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do. But yeah, entry wasn't bad. Fractal low, really strong formation, and really strong break higher. But there's one confluence that made the difference between entry likely to play and likely to fail, which was the close, the incomplete close above the 50-minute VG. Let me also kind of draw on this. Like, it really helps a lot to draw. I would recommend you guys to do this as well. When you're journaling your trades, just snip out the portion of your trade and write. So because this kind of helps memorize. I would say it really helps memorize what you're doing. I would say incomplete close, more like a bearish close, and this was a danger zone, so we should have definitely. Can I paste emojis maybe on my I don't think so, but where's Notion? So let's keep it like this. This is a concept I use sometimes when we have a bearish POI in our way. I call it a danger zone, and how I approach it is either we wait for price to mitigate and here we get another confluence of going higher, or we wait for price to break it, and I didn't do any of those things in this trade, but it's fine. So the clear danger zone, clear qualified danger zone, the 50-minute VG. So the fact that we didn't close above invalidated the potential of looking at a trade. We either needed to wait for closure above, or how do I say, a bonus confluence after first mitigation. So meaning we either break now, we would have broke here. How do I draw this? I wonder. I can do just kind of illustrate the both of the scenarios. So kind of like this, I would say. And then I write like this. I think I can do this. So either close above here, so meaning we close above and we look to entry of here. This would be one scenario, how the entry should have been taken in reality. This would be one scenario, and the second scenario would have been if we get, oops, let me go back, on this right here, on this bearish VGs, this is where I close the trade. But if this would have get broken above, that could have been another way of trading this, or validating entries, because this would have been like a failed swing. Wait, so let's do it like this. I think it's best, and meaning we would have closed above here. That would have validated the trade and looked to buy from here. So kind of two ways of trading it. The same here. So yeah, two ways of trading this entry, because it's a danger zone. So danger zones can be traded both ways. We either invalidate and we look on the break and retest. So can I do this? I don't know if I can. I wanted to rewrite something, so can I do like this? I'm gonna spend a lot of time on journaling. I usually spend, and I'm kind of happy to do it. Break and retest, break and retest. So it's either a break and retest or I mean, this is also improvement here. I mean, this is gonna go into the improvement part of the journaling, but it's fine, I guess. Nothing wrong with doing it now. So, and this would be extra confluence, I would call it. Again, the danger zone. Boom. So entry was bad also. First of all, entry and that confluence that I wasn't able to determine here what was the more likely scenario to play. Entry was bad, and in between state and more likely to play. So there's were kind of a lot of red flags on this trade, but as long as we're learning, to be honest, that doesn't really matter. Boom. I should probably again move these to the improvement part of the journaling, so meaning this will be entry, danger zone, like clear danger zone. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna put in my mistake as well, like instantly. So mistake was danger zone, too risky, I would say, and lack of focus. Bro, what am I putting on, bro? Oh my god, I put it. Lack of focus, lack of sleep, lack of focus. As it like, boom. Too risky. Wrong. Unsuitable pair. I would say it's a mistake from now on. Unsuitable pair. Too risky entry as well. So entry, I would say bad entry. Okay. We chilling. Let's get back to our sheep. We're gonna see. So let me also draw this. Our entry was here again. I mean, even entry was a bit bad. Because this is where my intuition kind of failed today in determining whether that close was bad or not. But yeah, on the 1 minute, not really bad. We did end up like holding it out first, but we just ended up fucking like just wrong bias, wrong, like too low probabilities to play out this trade. That was basically the problem. And I closed, I think, around here, so I managed to close the trade in half. That was good. That was good that I closed my trade in half, but it was not good that I took this trade. And yeah, so where's our entry? We're gonna put it here. Boom. Actually take it on the 1 minute. That's why on the 1 minute it looked like a valid close above the 50-minute FVG, but in reality it was not, and that ended up being such a detrimental confluence. Just based on my experience and how this pattern plays out. And then we're gonna do close as well. Even here the entry was bad. It should have been taken on the 3-minute FVG, but that's fine. So close, basically this is my exit protocol most of the time. I do close when we have a 3-minute gap form, which we did form out of the entry area. We got a 3-minute gap, a 3-minute gap, and then here I waited for a 1 minute gap to form. And as soon as the 1 minute gap formed here, I closed. I'm probably gonna look to MetaTrader just to kind of confirm what I did. And it also, that, bro, like today was so stupid, like Jesus, like why can't I move, bro? What did I do? I did something and I cannot drag my account history. So window, bro. Let's restart and see, maybe now it works. Bro, I deleted the, oh my god, I'm so stupid. Window, I need to ask ChatGPT. Like this is the last thing I wanted to do now, but it is what it is. I basically deleted the window of me. What is this? Next profile. So in MetaTrader for PC, I mistakenly dragged out the account history part at the bottom, and I can't access it anymore. How do I get it back? Control T. Oh, okay. So how do I put it back? Oh, okay. Nice. So this was the trade. We were in a really good period here, but that's fine. This was it. We have this and this, which should not be present. Wait, where is it? I can't fucking see. Oh, it was here. Okay. So we drag it. Let's zoom. Can I zoom, please? Can I zoom, please, man? What is it doing, man? Okay. So I closed, yeah, basically on the candle here. So I did close, meaning around here. Yeah, so I did have a good close and close it in half. At least that was a good decision I made today. The only kind of positive part, but it's fine. And I closed around here, seeing the 1 minute gap form. At least I did a good thing. Closed our classic exit protocol. 3 minute entry plus 1 minute confirmation, or like a gap. Didn't wait for a retest, since new kinda trade is likely to fail. I mean, to be honest, proper confluences like valid. That's pretty much why I took the trade. Like, intuition was not able to determine whether this trade was worth taking or not. Psychology good, no problems. What did I do right? Exit. Basically exit is the only thing, and what I did wrong is, as I said, lack of sleep. So lack of sleep, therefore lack of focus, therefore lack of intuition, therefore bad decision making. That's just how it works. Lack of sleep, entry refinement taken on the 3 minute, definitely not the 1 minute how I did take here. Too chasey of price. Entry refinement, too unlikely to play. Too many bearish signs in between state. Should have waited for more proper confluence. That's kind of it. So how can I improve? Now we're gonna go. Yeah, we had this in between state, which I went over. Should have waited. In this state where we are here, there's no trade until we broke either part of the POIs, and in this case it was way more likely to play sells anyways. So this might have been, like, if we think in terms of confluence, let's see, we had a lot of confluence. We had 1, 2 gaps here, and the third getting respected, but we did have a cock block. So this would have invalidated for us looking to trade until it gets inverse, but it was very clear that sells were more likely to play out. Like, very, very clear. And we sadly we didn't get a retest, so there would have been no trade. But yeah, it's just like helpful. So entry was bad just because of oh yeah, I forgot. I need to add this to my mistakes. Danger zone. Okay. Now it's we're chilling. So what, I need a break. I'm gonna take a small break. Like, I need to take breaks. Like, this is how I work. Like, if I sit at the PC for a period, I'm gonna get sweaty and I feel like I need to go outside, and I need to go outside for like a couple of minutes, and I can come back. So pretty much it. But yeah, we're probably also gonna back test. I want to finish this journal. I want to write something in a Excalidraw. I want to back this, and I want to break down right there. So it's gonna be quite a lot of things, but I think it's gonna be fine. We're just gonna finish this, and yeah, I'm gonna be back in a few minutes. I just need to smoke, to be honest. but I'm gonna be back soon. So. finish the journal. This is the goal right now. Finish the journal. I'm probably gonna skip back testing for the day, and we're probably gonna yeah, break down, and that's gonna be my day. So why we're souls more likely to play, and also one which is lack of sleep. So I'm gonna have like kind of everything, basically what I went wrong on this trade. So let's think about it. In between state I talked about, this is a trade where you should not be trading, so that's fine. Entry danger zone, of course, that was fine. And can say we should have been taken on the 3-minute FVG, and why we're so more likely to play. Like, considering we don't even need to be, like, it's very very clear why souls were more likely to play. Let's open a new chart. 1, 2, 3. It's very clear why souls were more likely to draw, to play. 1, 2, and third, and this was just a retrace on inverse, basically, with overall new week opening gap as a draw on liquidity. We don't really have it here, but I think it was around here, I would say. So very clear on why sales were more likely to play. Very clear confluence is lower, right? More likely to, if there's been 3 days rain, it's more likely to rain the third as well. So that's pretty much it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is only 1. This is draw. That was basically why souls were more likely to play. And what's also interesting about this is gonna be how we behave to that 1 hour here. I mean, this was it. I don't remember. Let me open my new chart. What was that gray zone? Oh, that was the 4 hours. So the 4 hour we stepped in, we respected the high of it really nicely. So let me delete this just to make things a bit more clear. But this area overall is the high of the 4 hour FVG, and if we respect it and reject it, it means we're kind of taking the zone as support. More like, oh, fuck me, bro, fuck me. And also this was a pretty big sign, like the fractal fractal 4 hour. We took the high here, which is more likely by behavior to be plain souls. Boom. Boom. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting something? Not really. I think no. Boom. How we behaved to the high of the voided 4 hour, a huge indication of continuing bearish order flow. Also really pivotal price point overlapping with the 1 hour FVG. The fact that we rejected the high shows clear signs of taking it as resistance, and shows and fractal high to top it off. So this was very very likely to play bearish. And also, oh yeah, I'm forgetting euro and GU strength. So this is one thing I gotta go over. Euro versus GU. Let's put it like this. So again, when I'm giving advice, I need to stick to it. I want that to be part of my identity. Like, I don't want to give advices and not stick to it. Like today in my trading, I said that I'm only gonna choose euro since euro is more suitable for our bullish idea because of the SMT that we got. Basically, where was the SMT actually? But it doesn't even need an SMT. Like, it's just a clear difference in strength here. It's a clear difference, and ended up showing here like the clear difference, but I don't exactly remember what the clear difference was in strength. Oh, the lows, I think. No, or bro, am I tripping? I knew I was shown an SMT, but it doesn't even need to be an SMT. SMT is just a tool to sometimes be able to determine was the stronger pair, but in this case it was obvious. Like, we didn't need SMT to confirm that G was weaker. and euro stronger. And this is something I should non-negotiably do, to be honest. Also when I'm trading DAX in UK. So yeah, it's very clear. It's very clear which was the stronger pair. It's just about choosing to only trade it and not settle with the pair that's in front of you just because to settle. So I want to make this a rule. Always choose to trade only the pair more suitable for your idea, which in this case meaning you would have traded only euro, because this positions yourself in higher probability scenarios and should be non-negotiable, because we see on euro how big the difference was in terms of strength and playing out the idea basically. I heard I said pretty much. Entry being bad, we should wait for the close. Intuition, yeah. Lack of sleep. How can I do this in like a bigger intuition? Like sleep enables focus enables flow, and flow enables intuition, which then enables my edge. Pretty much. So it all comes down to all of these parts. So sleep being the basis, the foundation of the formula to enable intuition. We cannot afford to not have sleep. If we want a consistent execution, we need to have consistent sleep, and no smoking weed in between or before sessions. Really important. So making this a rule, something that I should do non-negotiably. So besides me having higher time frame rule, I should always choose a stronger pair, because it's positioning yourself in higher probability scenarios. That's pretty much it. We learned a lot today, but yeah, date was Monday, right? Monday, boom. The duration, it didn't take long. Let's see. It took like probably like, oh no, like 54 minutes. Where is it? 54 entry was like a fractal. Once again, oops, what did I do? Entry time, let me close this shit. I don't know what I'm alt tabbing to. Boom. Let's see, entry time. Oh yeah, boom. Intuition. I would also make a section. Of course I chose the motherfuck, man. Goddamn, man. Let's see, 1 minute and we were. Boom. I think we took the entry here. So like 1638. 1638, I think we were looking like at a 2 hour potential hour, probably like 0.1. I'm not really even gonna bother. Win lose, risk 1%. Intuition non-present. How do I put this? Non-present. Not X check mark. I think that's probably a good a good way to describe it. It's just that intuition wasn't present, sadly, in this case. Why can I not copy it, bruh? Okay, intuition was not present at all. It could have been. So in case we had 4 hour plus 1 hour, we lost like minus 0.5. Higher time frame edge was gap to inverse idea. It was a I would say retracement, but it was not. It was like in between state. Yeah, it shouldn't be a state I've been trading in, but I'm gonna mark it anyways. In between state. Boom. And we didn't have any news today. Where's none? Okay, here. I'm gonna also delete those because I added them by mistake. Boom. And performance, I'll probably put it like a 6. To be honest, like performance was not great, but sometimes it happens. Boom. And that's pretty much it. I also want to do two more things. So one being at this decision on the 50-minute close. So at this, here's where intuition should have taken the decision whether to keep the trade or not. Intuitive, I would call intuitive decision. Intuition, take or no. This is where intuition should have stepped in. So at this decision that ended up being detrimental is where intuition should have stepped in. And because of me not having intuition present, I should always skip the trade. That's kind of it. So that's pretty much everything about this journal. That's pretty much it. So finally a good journal. It's been a while since I've been generally like enjoying to do my journals. Lately they've been feeling like a task, but right now I'm kind of doing it from a space of love, to be honest. And now I want to get to making like a scheme of what I discovered. So we're gonna use ChatGPT. I already used ChatGPT to tell me this, but I just want to see if it managed to give me load. I don't know why this chat works really bad, really slow, but yeah. So we're gonna some rules. Identity statements. This is important. So identity statements. Let me see if I can copy this straight up. We can copy this identity statements. These are not affirmation, these are law of self. This is very important. These are law of self. So I'm gonna put this right here. This is something I've been doing recently, building this law of self. So in intuition boundaries, if intuition is not present, do not trade, like the case we had today. If a setup feels unfamiliar, no field recognition, do not trade. Never override intuition, no matter how hard, how smart the reasons seem. Trust intuition, I trade only when I'm grounded, clean and clear. Yeah, these are very good things that GPT ended up telling me here. So intuition boundaries, I would make them intuition boundaries, kinda, I would call it that. That's fine. And identity statements is also fine. So something like this. I just want to have some structure. The laws protect the quality of your decision making. If broken, your edge dies. Pretty much it. Reality is pretty much it. These are law of self. What is this gonna do? Just ensure the identity or mental state that is required for me to be able to be trading consistently with intuition. State laws. Sleep is the foundation. Focus enables flow. Flow enables intuition. No substances that dull clarity. Pretty much no video games. Yeah, these are gonna be useful, but I feel like they can be skipped because they're already kind of self-explanatory. They don't need to be explained. State laws, maintaining access to flow. They're the foundational disciplines. No state, no edge. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with here, but these are kind of no video games are possible when triggers. No distraction while trading. I mean, these are foundational disciplines. I don't know if this necessarily, I mean, I need to put this here, but yeah. Oops, I deleted the opposite. Boom, boom. State laws. Boom, right here. I would like to make them smaller, but I'm really lazy on writing them again. And execution laws. Call loser fast. I think this can be deleted if intuition phase mid trade exit. Kind of weird, not really a good rule. Do not trade if that intuition hasn't failed before. I think we already put that there. So I think actually still better to make it myself. So identity statements, I think this is fine. Intuition boundaries, like never go against intuition. If a setup it feels unfamiliar, do not trade, and never go against intuition. So these are good. I think I trust, and of course I trust. If I'm not in flow, I don't act. I trade only when I'm grounded. Oops, what did I do? I feel like these are kind of self-explanatory. So kind of these. Well, this is good. Stay lost. Sleep is the foundation. Focusing flows enable intuition. Yeah. No stumps and this is adult core. No video games. No distractions while trading. I think this is kind of self-explanatory one again. So yeah, no distractions while trading. Definitely trading session requires presence. If I'm not I don't trade. I mean, kind of like this would be fine. So these are a bit more better. I'm not bound by my results anymore. The process, the reward. I'm focused on focusing. I'm bold right now. I don't need anything. I just want to express my skill and honor my path. My only desire is consistent execution. I'm here to find learn and stay present every day. I trade with intuition. I protect is like sacred. I'm not here to prove anything. This is already there. So these is good. State laws, I'm not really sure about keeping this. So yeah, this is basically what is required for you to be able to trade with intuition. Like if you don't have these, it's kind of fucked. And the pair selection rules. So I want to make this like execution, I don't know, rules, I would say. I mean, kind of this is execution rules anyways. So it's kind of weird. This is execution rules. So I would say now I want to add a rule, which is always choose this more suitable pair for your trade idea. The same that we did today when I didn't do that. Always choose the more suitable trade for your trade idea. Always respect higher time frame rules. That's pretty much it. It's not very complicated. Like mechanical rules, I would say, so execution rules. But this can also go to execution rules. If that feels unfamiliar, do not trade. Yeah. We're gonna see, but I think what we're gonna do is actually this, because at the end of the day it's just identity and it's execution and knowing the boundaries of intuition. Don't go against intuition, like, yeah, knowing the boundaries. Basically last week, where were we? First I would act focused against intuition, against higher time frame rules. So execution should be like this every single time. I mean, it's pretty clear that if a setup feels unfamiliar, it means no intuition, right? So it's pretty, this is kind of the intuitive part, and this is the the like rule-based system that I need to have, and that's pretty much it. Like we ended up kind of refining structure. Don't break your own advice to others. This is also what I want to see, like from identity. I don't want to break your own, don't break my own advice. Like if I give an advice, I need to do it. Do not set up for a weaker pair. So more like, I would say I practice what I preach. Can I do that? How I preach what I teach, or how's the phrase? I preach what I teach. I think would be probably better. So we're gonna try and move these. I kind of want to do this, to be honest, to make it more organized, because this is kind of laws for me. These are laws, identity laws. I would call them laws to be able to execute consistently upon intuition. That's kind of what it is, to be honest. and these are laws as well, so they're both kind of laws, something that should never be broken, pretty much. Trade with intuition, and I preach what I teach. Boom, boom, boom. That's pretty much it in terms of this. I don't want to make this a different font. Can I make the oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, bro, what did I do? Okay. So always respect higher time frame rules, that's fine. Always always choose the more suitable pair. I would keep it like this. If intuition is not present, do not trade. Never go against intuition. Never go against intuition, no matter how hard that seems, no matter how smart the reason seems. So that's pretty much like, these are the laws. I kind of ended up I mean, yeah, I would like to keep it a bit more shorter. Boom. Never go against sessions, and just don't print. Always respect higher time frame rules, and always choose. Let me see if I can do this. Any payouts? Nah, bro. I'm break even, bro. I've been break even for 10 months, basically. Boom. Thank you for saying that. I think these lives are interesting for if, yeah, they're pretty interesting. Achas Roman, by the way, ca să știi. Execution rules. Care ar fi un execution emoji? I think this is definitely suitable. Copied. Boom. Okay. So this is kind of, am I missing something? It's identity, and then is, oh, we should probably prioritize sleep, execution rules, and kind of lifestyle rules. To be honest, lifestyle rules, I would say. Let's see if I can see a lifestyle emoji, maybe. What is this, bro? Let's just use this. Lifestyle rules, okay. So meaning sleep must be present. So how do I see this? Every session requires full presence. That's probably one of the, so sleep is actually the basis. Let me kind of make like a refined, it's kind of hard to do. So sleep consistently, I mean rest, I mean I would say rest, sleep properly, or rest properly. It's the basis of the foundation. Full focus in sessions, no distractions, and that's kind of it, to be honest. Like, there's nothing more. Oh, and no weed, no any other fucking substance. No weed before or in between sessions. It's not that complicated if you think about it. Lifestyle rules, identity, which is your mental state, or this is psychology, this is strategy, and this is lifestyle. So that's probably, yeah. Let me ask GBTOs if I'm missing something. Lifestyle rule, execution rules. GBT, where are you, bro? Where is you at? Am I missing something? I kind of refined it to make it better for me to understand and simpler. Yeah, bro, I'm trading. Bro, what's... Okay, but ChatGPT is so weird. Why does it get fucked lately? Retry. I don't know why this gets fucked. Like, this chat gets fucked specifically. It only kind of works on my phone. I don't know why. Come on, GBTUs. And then we're gonna do pretty much we're gonna do the breakdowns and we're overall finished for the day. Process is the reward. I did that. Show up to express skill. Where is it? I just want to express my skill and not on my path. It's consistent execution. I'm here to fireman, stay present, and I love what I do. I'm war right now. The process becomes the reward. It's kind of yo. Your refinement looks highly clean and minimal, highly usable. You've taken away the right core components and distilled them down into something you manage. And that said, there are just a couple of tiny things you might consider adding to make it more complete. It's critically emotionally resonant. It aligns deeply with how we show up. Execution role direct and non-negotiable, which is actually how it should be. So all the main triggers: sleep, focus, and sobriety. Essential for consistent intuition. Added no trade condition rule from earlier. You mentioned multiple how important it is to not trade unfamiliar scenarios. I mean, why I didn't add this is because of course it lags. Futus GBT we should domine. I didn't add this rule because for me it's self-explanatory. From if intuition not present, no trade. Intuition cannot assess current information, so kinda like not present. If I want to say present every day, that could flow a bit more. Short of ready to refine. If you ever want to make this a full system, you could include this to summarize system structure. I mean, this is also important, but it's already how intuition flows. I mean, something I will probably never forget anyway, so I think we're chilling. This is probably what is gonna require, like, what is gonna make consistent execution possible is having a bit of boundaries and having a bit of rules. Having rules for intuition as well. You know, I didn't really think about this until now. So having rules for intuition as well in terms of if intuition is not present, do not trade. That meaning if you're tired or whatever, do not trade. Or meaning that intuition cannot assess a certain information. You're not familiar yet with a certain trade idea. It's just better to skip it and never go against intuition. That's for sure. Always respect. Always choose the more suitable pair. I mean, this is probably chilling. Sleep properly, full focus in session, no distraction, no with before or in between sessions. I mean, it all that's kind of all it requires. It requires consistent focus. Oh, and meditation as well. But meditation is important, so I would actually add here that we need meditation. Meditate before each session. Full focus, that's fine. Full focus in session, no weed doing it. I feel like this is probably where we're chilling. If intuition is you're absolutely right and your logic sound includes the scenario of non-recognition information into similar trade discover. You're a person to how a soul reflection mature. That intuition, if intuition is or includes unfamiliar patterns, so conclusion you're not missing any or you sound you're building something clean. Okay, so pretty much it. Never trade against intuition. Always respect higher time for rules. Always choose the more suitable pair. Never go against intuition. And intuition, if intuition is not present, do not trade. This is solid. Like, this is now really helping me kind of systemize and really like internalize the information I studied. Identity, which allows you to be able to do everything you need. The lifestyle rules ensure consistency in enabling flow. And this is pretty much chilling. Yes sir, this is good. System or laws, I would actually call these the laws of, how should I call this? What would be a cool name for this? Instead of rules, I kind of like the word laws a bit more. Laws. It's pretty cool. I'll probably call them laws. Lifestyle laws, execution laws, identity laws. Okay. Boom. We'll make this bigger. Nig. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, we almost slipped. Almost slipped. It almost slipped away. These are laws of, yes, they are. They are who you've become, not who you wish to be. Important. How should I call these laws? How should I call these laws? I want a cool name. Laws of something. Bro, why is GBT lagging so hard? The chat is always lagging. And yeah, intuition is my edge. It definitely is my edge. So gotta protect her. Probably gonna get into breakdown soon. That's gonna be our day. This is generally how a day looks like for me. Like we have London session like around 2-3 hours. We have New York around 3-4 hours sometimes. Then we have the night work, which is usually journaling, which is usually backtesting and breaking down the day. And usually I would edit as well, but today I don't really have time to do that. Laws of self-mastery. No, bro. Bro, what is wrong with GBD? Laws of mastery, I would call them. Laws of consistency. I mean, I feel like laws of consistency is probably more suitable. Laws of... Why is consistency? Why is this so small? Laws of consistency. Yes, sir, skis. Yes, Kurskis. Identity laws. I'll put them kind of right here. I feel like it's a bit more cool. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think at this point, my kind of stupid brain is coming out. I don't know what to call that, but it's just like sometimes my brain rot. My brain rotting comes out. Yes, sir. I'm just brain dead sometimes, but it's fine. Yeah, this is probably gonna be the formula. Laws of consistency. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go. Laws of consistency. It's gonna be here anyways, but yo. Laws of nigger. Oh shit, what did I say, man? God damn. Low. Stay low key, gangy. Yo. Yo, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Identity laws, execution laws, and lifestyle laws. We properly meditate, full focus, and we this. Now I'm gonna start breaking out the day, and yeah, just breaking out the day and seeing what happens. I'm pretty much finished. I'm kind of proud of myself that I've been able to stay consistent. First, I'm not doing this to prove that I'm worthy. Even if I wouldn't do this, I would still feel happy. But of course, it just makes me happy being on my path and doing, doing what I love doing. It makes me aligned. Therefore, yeah. Where's analysis? Let's see. We got the Monday here, and we got the breakdowns. I didn't use this once, I think. Yeah, but we're gonna use it now. Yes, sir. We're gonna use it now. I mean, what was my bias? I don't exactly remember. I think I was bullish until this, so which meaning euro would be bearish. We did get the same fake inverse here. We did get the same fake inverse that we did on euro. We did get the same fake inverse that didn't end up holding, and my initial bias of holding higher ended up being right. Perfect example of a low probability edge, just completely against trend and against 4-hour drawn liquidity, which made it unlikely to play because our 4-hour was still drawn higher. So it's basically like a delayed trending Asia. It did struggle a bit in this area, but it ended up like displacing through it. Did struggle. It's like a delayed. The pattern is delayed trending Asia, I would say. Ended up struggling a bit to break above the inverse, but overall just played pretty clean. Delayed trending Asia, pretty clean, I would say. So now let's go over London. This is what I usually do. I don't know, I should have this written here. London, lunchtime in New York, and also PM session New York, but I don't. It's interesting that how we formed this height here. London basically raid Asia of the hourly FVG, so this was decent. Can I play the raid Asia? I think we did the same on Euro, yes, but here timing was a bit better. So for London, we played the trending Asia towards Asian lows. We kind of came towards this consolidation, I would say. Area and price. So London, we played a raid Asia lower, which is reacted of Asian highs, and then an hourly FVG. Ended up drawing lower towards Asian lows, but Asian lows, I'm pretty sure Asian lows didn't get taken. Price reacting of that previous consolidation to the left. London ended up being a retracement. Could have definitely gotten faked here. Could have gotten faked on this move, because this looks like a really decent break lower, to be honest. And this is how we usually play the failed swing, but we're going against bias, and we're going against we're basically going against 4-hour, and that's really bad to do. In terms, let's look at lower time frame price action here a bit. We did have this pivot that we ended up holding. This could have been the entry that you look to take off this raid Asia, and that would have been probably it. Looking to target, I would say generally London lows, but I would say probably this internal low. So this would have probably been the target, since overall it was a retracement more or less. Yeah, pretty much it. Decent entry. London ended up holding an open FVG, and that's pretty much it. Was decent here to target this. It was a retracement trade, like a scalp, but yeah, it's fine. Then we ended up building this really strong high here. I think we had this on Euro. I mean, not really strong, I would say, but yeah, this ended up kind of in the middle again. Lunchtime didn't do much, just reacted of London lows, and because London lows were early rated, we ended up playing like a delayed model without coming back to sweep this low. So it's kind of two ways we can look at it. We can look at it from a bearish perspective. If we look from a bearish perspective, this would have been the place where we probably entered, and we would have gotten chopped hella hella chop, hella chop. But it's just that, yeah, just bias was bullish. If we would have looked to short here, we were going against our higher time frame drawn liquidity, which was reaching back into this highs. And yeah, we were just going against bias. That's why I ended up failing. Could have easily gotten trapped here. Could have easily gotten trapped here on the fail swing and looking to play London. Why was it more likely to fail, and why did it fail? Because we were going against 4-hour bias and 4-hour drawn liquidity. 4-hour dead and give confluences of being bearish, yeah. So that's pretty much it. If you're looking from a bullish perspective, which we should have, if we look at from a bullish perspective, we have like a fail swing, early London raid fail swing. We end up holding this towards London highs. In terms of entry, let's eliminate this because it kind of annoys me. But this looked decent here, the inversion, but it would have been a very close call. Very close call. Looking to target that high. This would have been the opportunity. Would have been pretty great. If we would have chosen the right side, this is kind of what it would have looked like. An early London sweep, failed swing after that an entry of the inverse. That's pretty much it. Of the inverse, we did have a pretty deep pullback, but I think, yeah, it would have been fine. I wouldn't take this, but we're just like, this is what breaking down is for, just to seeing price and kind of familiarizing yourself with patterns, even if you wouldn't take this certain setup, I would say. I'm gonna break down euro as well. Here on the 4-hour, again, it's the same thing as the XY. We ended up failing this 1 hour because we were just likely to play bearish, and I also said that because of this high, which is high resistance, I would be expecting price to be continuing lower. So pretty much what we played here. Let's see, 4-hour not really present in this case. 1 hour we ended up doing the same shit as the XY, completely ignoring our edge and delivering conform the 4-hour bias and draw liquidity, basically. So we just ignore our bullish edge here. This is a bullish edge sometimes, but we just ignored it and we ended up printing bearish. We found resistance on the high, so it's an interesting day to say the very least. Let me remove some of these drawings. We did have a kind of fake London continuation here. We did have like a big ass, like, it's a weird profile. It's definitely a profile classic to the day before CPI. At least that's what I would call like a weird ass profile. Price being contained within Asia range. Classic day before CPI. We had a London continuation try and play out, but then it failed, and the London on the range started with an Asian sweep. It's just weird, but it ended up failing off apparently this really small FVG here. So yeah yes sir skis. Kind of the same thing in London. I'm not gonna break it down. Lunchtime retraced, and from here we would have could have maybe looked at this buy, but we had a danger zone. So it's a good thing that I kept the danger zone in mind on on Euro, but on GY didn't. So it ended up failing. I don't know necessarily why, but this kind of was the idea I was looking for anyways. Is a 15-minute danger zone gonna lose relevance if it gets mitigated? It does lose relevance, and the fact that it lost relevance maybe made it possible for us to take this trade here. Yeah, I'm just only gonna post like New York session here. The intent of trying to play London Con. This would have been it, but we had a 15-minute danger zone, which we technically should have seen some type of bonus confluence. ended up holding break-even orders here, but still failed. Then on the inversion on the 1 hour, we got kinda, this was where we started holding, and at least where I would potentially enter, but it was too late. Jew we already did. We're probably gonna do AU here. AU was way weaker apparently, but it was definitely weirder in terms of price action. Definitely weirder. I don't like this shit. I don't want to see it anymore. One gap and very small inversion here. So yeah, weird profile, but sometime you'll get it. You know what I mean? Weird profile overall, but ended up playing bearish. Gap 2 inverse, pretty sure. Gap 2 inversio. Yes sir. So it's basically like a trending Asia at the end of the day, and the trending Asia, like early, I would say, like, yeah, I like a trending Asia. I want to say early delayed trending Asia, but any sense. Trending Asia with London early mitigating RPI and New York initiating later on. What do we see here in terms of confluence? We do look like we're pretty nice structure. I would say we do have 50-minute gap. We did break the market structure shift here, and then we end up holding this bearish POI. So we have pretty clean how price behaved around this area, and it all also started from this bearish POI here. So this bearish POI ended up sustaining the move lower, and then we hold throughout New York to target the lows. The profile is kind of interesting here, how it behaved on the 50-minute. But yeah, let's see London. What did London do? London, we did have like a very small potential entry to be taken here. Boom, like this. We did have like, this was kind of, it could have been possible. Definitely could have been possible. Not something I would trade necessarily, that's for sure. Not something I would trade necessarily. Boom, and then we just end up holding. We end up holding this, being really pivotal. Boom. And then we kept respecting bearish order flow throughout lunchtime, so kind of the move initiated lower. Then lunchtime we just held bearish order flow. This is kind of what is interesting. I want to note lunchtime as well here. Lunchtime we just held bearish order flow towards inverting that 50-minute gap. Boom, like we failed the move here, respected bearish order flow, respected bearish order flow, and then fucking fall off. Then kind of struggled and massive sweep to come back and mitigate and re-tap around this area, and then we just end up displacing. So interesting price action, to say the very least. I would say the very least. Interesting price action here. Again, manipulative behavior of the 50-minute gap printed in New York. We had slow in 10, no volatility to sustain the move lower, or then price massively sweeps all the stop losses and then continues lower. Haven't seen a on this type of shit on AUDUSD for a long time, I ain't gonna lie. Bro, look at gold, man. This would have been nice. I forgot about gold, but we were waiting on the retest of this basically, and we didn't get it, sadly. But sometime it happened. It ended up pretty decent entry around here. But we're gonna do Daxies. We ended up flipping. Pretty much we flipped this. We ended up holding these consolidations. Pretty much we ended up massively flipping on DAX. Like this breakdown is gonna help you so much in learning and in learning. We ended up flipping bias here, not reaching in the sell side, most likely holding that as a strong low. We flip bias. Range was looking weird here. on hourly anyways. It was looking really weird. Once, twice, two gaps that ended up disrespected. Just really weird price action today on DAX, but yeah, we ended up flipping bias here, disrespecting two bearish AVGs. Yeah, but it's just weird price action, to be honest. It kind of failed the move once. It failed it here, failed, and then started inversing, and then it just sprinted towards filling this gap, which is fine. To bearish AVG and drawing towards new week open, not new week. I mean new week opening gap. We can call it like that. In terms of that order flow, yeah, and interesting. We failed the move lower. What is interesting about this is the failure of one of my models that I've seen a lot of times. So this is something I actually wanna save somewhere, to be honest. I'm gonna do something like this and save it somewhere, because this is a case, I mean, let me redo that, where one of my model fails a lot of times. And it fails, it ends up coming back to manipulate, and then it starts going higher. So I'm gonna probably save this somewhere in my playbook on my raid Asia. What did I see? Like Asia fail. Let's save it here. Okay, let's get back. Analysis Monday. Let's make it full screen, and we're gonna get back to our sheep. And drawing towards new week opening gap, basically. Formation was looking weird. It was weird as well. Kind of expected it. Let's see. 50 minute. Yeah. Where's my trading view? 50 minute. Boom, boom, boom. 50 minute is not a profile I can even name. I would just say like a raid Asia that fails or that struggles to break. And are reacting of this 50 minute, which is again very interesting to see. This is when usually raid Asia fail, meaning we look to buy from underneath Asian lows. When we have a 50 minute like this, and we have an early displacement, sound usually falls, and then it holds the intent higher towards New York, which is once again interesting, at least interesting to see. Interesting profile here. Failed raid Asia to then manipulate, and New York continue in 10. That's pretty much it. That's the profile. London raid Asia pretty solid. We ended up holding off this. This would be a model I would trade like 100 times over and over and over again. At least this would have been a trade I would take, at least in my early part of my journey. I would definitely have taken this, and I would have definitely targeted the highs, get reversed on without taking any partials. That would be an accurate representation of what I would have done in this case. Oh, my old self would be proud. Trading this raid Asia, then get reversed on. But yeah, we failed off of 50 minute VG, and we end up basically just holding a decent market structure shift towards these highs, and from here on out, realistically probably stop loss would have been here. And yeah, raid Asia, then price comes back, manipulates, initiates intent here in lunchtime. Failed swing is how I call it, when we have the intent initiate in lunchtime, which in case it did, because this is a market structure shift. Let's see, I'm curious on the 50 minute how it looks. We didn't have structure, but that's fine. And then it ends up holding throughout New York. We end up making a really nice retest here. I know I was watching this retest, and there would have been a possible buy here to be taken, to be honest, on the hourly retest, but we just had no confluence to be doing this. But we could have definitely taken it, and we would have targeted this new week opening gap fill. It would have been a nice trade, I'm not gonna lie, but not something that's valid for me to take. New York ended up printing really clean here. Really clean price action for New York. Lunchtime initiating intention. New York continuing it. And we get a really nice retest of the 1 hour FVG late on, where we could have technically entered. This was really clean price action, to be honest. On New York, it would have been really clean for me, but No confluence to be taken in. And UK. Sometimes UK prints like you just you don't want to say anything about UK at some point. But wait, it was actually valid to be taken. It was just really overextended. But yeah, this is sometimes how UK prints. UK sometimes printing like it doesn't give a fuck, like it has no regrets in life. That's how UK be printing sometimes. UK printing like it has no regrets. Just massive continuation day. Massive continuation day. I think I was actually expecting to be yeah, just cunt. That's what I'm gonna write. What I want to see is London, of course, didn't have anything. What I want to see, ooh, I do like this swing though. I do like this, and this would have been a potential entry, but extremely overextended, Gengi. Not something I would be down to do. Of the 1 hour, we respected the 1 hour pretty nicely, very nicely here. We respected the 1 hour. That's it. I'm not gonna struggle with doing UK because it's bullshit price action, man. It's bullshitting. But I did end up having the proper bias here on gold, man. On gold, man. I end up having the proper bias on gold, man. I'm so good. I'm not good. I need to learn a lot more. So not even close to being good. Proper bias here. We intuition stepped into the chances of inversion, and that's what ended up happening. We did inverse, had a fake move higher, failed to hold, then New York melts down. Pretty much a gangy. I'm bringing it, but this is a nice profile as well. Like gold printed really nicely today. It's a nice profile that we actually have here. Nice profile. No real name for it. It's just like a failure swing, I would say, or maybe can even call Raid Asia, then New York finishes in 10th somehow. But it was a really clean day. I do really like price action like this, like how we came, we inversed, then price holds that inverse once and fails to break, forms a lower high and starts fucking melting. We get the retracement. I would have wanted to see the retracement within this. That's why I even have an alert here. We didn't have retracing, but it would have been nice to take that trade lower. But anyways, it's just like nice price action, to be honest. I like price action like this. Let's do a little bit more in London and see what we actually did in London. I mean, not really much. We even raid Asia. We just like very shit intent, to be honest. Not much momentum here. So London, it's not even worth breaking down price action like this. We just hold higher, but the move was really voided and sudden. This is when it's just like a classic false move. Then price just like this is sometimes gold, bro. Like gold doesn't give a shit when it's fucking like when it, I don't even know how to say, like sometimes it doesn't give a shit. Like look, it just opened, holds an AVG, fucking melts down from that like fucking 3-minute AVG, just holds down lower. Like we no regrets, like same as UK, we no regrets. Like no responsibilities, no second thoughts, no. Gold just held like with no regrets, straight up of New York open, holding a 3-minute gap to inverse that zone. Later we rebalance. We didn't rebalance the zone I wanted to, but we did rebalance. I would actually, this is one of the rare cases where I would consider a wick low like this in market structure shift. With this is again really nice price action for gold today. I do really like its price action that we had today. This is pretty clean. It's probably one of the best pair that moved today. Really clean entry pattern here. We didn't get our 1 hour zone mitigated, but it's a really clean entry. Like I really like how this looks. It's like, again, this is a valid low. Normally in past times I would only consider valid lows if they're formed in AVGs like this, but this is still a strong low. We have structure, we take the high, then we inverse and we print a gap around the previous low. This is where we would have taken our entry and target lower. This is a breakaway. Like the entry is really clean, really clean, to be honest. Like in terms of structure, or switch, breakaway and FVG around the low. just perfect entry in my opinion. This low would have been valid. We have one more. Oh, we don't have one more pair. We're done. Yes, sir. We're done for the day. Even though I don't do it just to do it, I do it because I love it. But it still feels good to be done for the day. Now I can take the rest of the day off and relax, probably for the rest of 1 hour and a half. So this is kind of what this was about, just me doing my task, and maybe some of you will be able to find some value. Not a lot of people will actually find this entertaining because you're just studying, and people are just gonna get bored really easily, but that's completely fine. I'm not doing this for, I don't know, the right people will find me, the people that are willing to see and learn from my learnings as well. Like I learn, you learn, you see me learn, and you might learn as well what I'm going through. And yeah, I'm just grateful for being present. I'm grateful for any day, even though we took a loss today. For me, it doesn't really matter because I learned things that are way more valuable than a 1% loss, right? I learned this first of all, and I learned some things in the technical. So I really thank you all for being here. It really makes me happy to be doing what I love every day, and to also see people that are here that we can connect with, and we can talk about what we love doing. So really thank you all for being here. I love you, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow, Gengi. Tomorrow we're probably not gonna trade since tomorrow CPI, but we're gonna be there doing what we love. We don't have to be winning or losing or breaking even. We don't even have to do trading to be present because we love what we do.